We're very excited about it. Not one but two major world title fights coming from Las Vegas. But back in Glasgow, a unique double bill. Same Bellahouston Sports Centre, also the venue for an amateur international tonight. A novel idea, but certainly giving the youngsters the taste of a big atmosphere. Pleasantries beforehand, Scotland against Australia. Wonderful showcase for these young men. Now we're going to give you a flavour of the best of the action. It's 7-3 to the Aussies, surprise, surprise, as we join it. A couple of the outstanding contests, Barry Morrison for Scotland against Jarrod Fletcher of Australia.
One of the young Australian stars for you, like welterweight Jarrod Fletcher in red, who was surprisingly defeated last week to the brilliant Scottish amateur Kevin Anderson in the tournament at Peacock Bay. Now at the Bellahouston, another talent in Barry Morrison for Fletcher to fathom out. Morrison, a former national champion. Could be good, this one. Good quick Fletcher. The long jab, and they rate him pretty highly in Australia. His 96th fight, 76th for Morrison. So two pretty experienced men in there.
And first impressions, things are looking good, Adam. Some good quality already, moves and punches from both boys.
He's flicking out the jab. Jarrod Fletcher. His brother Robbie was just defeated by John Simpson. The more talented member of the family from Queensland. Morrison pretty compact, although the right hand squeezes through. 3-2 on the scorecard so far to Morrison. So another right hand goes through from Fletcher. Not scored.
Some lovely punching from Fletcher, but just some of them a little bit out of range. Just hasn't found his range yet.
3-2, Morrison leads after the first. Trained by Archie Fleming from Fordenwood in Motherwell. Boxing since he was 5. Barry Morrison says he can still remember first going into the gym at that age and absolutely loved it. Now a bricklayer's labourer who trains at night and keeps fit by doing half marathons. 162 fights out of 75, lost 13. What do you like about him?
A good solid look about him, nice defence, didn't waste any punches, whereas maybe Fletcher a little bit out of range at times, but very close as the scoring is reflecting.
Is the second of 4 2-minute rounds. Remember, light welterweights for you, 63.5 kilograms. The Australian Scotland international second leg. First was a tie. Australia have won this already. Scotland fighting for pride. Left down low from Morrison and told to keep up his punches. Fletcher, though, bouncing back on the card. He's got a long reach, hasn't he, the Australian?
He's probably got a little bit more imagination in his work too. He didn't find the range as well in the first round, but he seems to have rectified that. Got himself in front now. That's a lovely move, you know, double left hook. A lot of confidence in Fletcher's work.
Hasn't he? He won the prestigious Patrons Cup for outstanding amateur skill back home. Great jabs from Fletcher. Still 4-2, and Morrison fall back to 4-3. And 3 of the judges have to hit that button at the same time, of the 5 of them. So it can be quite controversial if you can't hit the scoring.
Yeah, well, you're dealing with the reflexes of the judges as well as the boxers, unfortunately, but that's that left hook's brought it back to 4 apiece. So, can't get any closer than this.
Uppercut went in and scored from Morrison. 5-4 now. Keeping his technique solid. Not letting the Australian run away with this. Keeping it very, very tight. Doing well, Barry Morrison.
Probably wants to go forward a little bit more often. Fletcher is very shifty, so I think getting him on his back foot would probably help his cause.
Not a good jab from Morrison. Don't know whether that counted, but an excellent round. That's the Morrison uppercut, which did score.
That was lovely. Another round where he didn't waste too many punches, too many moves. Fletcher a little bit flashier, possibly, but Morrison just nicked himself in front again.
There's the Australian corner. And Jarrod Fletcher, the 18-year-old from Queensland who loves playing football and has enjoyed his time up here in Scotland. He's won every Australian title since he was 10, he was telling me. Good fight here, second half. Barry Morrison in the blue trunks, the representative from Motherwell, Scotland, against Jarrod Fletcher in the red from Australia. 21 years of age, Morrison, who's lost out in the Scottish Championships last year to Denbigh's unbeaten Kevin Anderson, but he's looking to try and force his way into the Commonwealth Games for next year. That's a good right hand, that, from Morrison.
Yeah, up until then, Fletcher was keeping him off balance, I think, just by flicking the jab. That one scored. He's now got himself 6-4 in front.
That's a nice lead from Barry Morrison, who's boxing well. Makes it 7-4. That's the official score you're seeing. Just kept nice and tight, Morrison, delivering his punches with authority, and the flashier style of Fletcher not having as much success as it did in the first. He looks as though he could be quite good, Fletcher.
Yeah, he does it. He's very flashy, moves around well, looks the part, but probably the more accurate work coming from the Scots kid, I think. Versus a little bit more economical, not wasting so many punches.
Blocked there by the defence of Fletcher. And some blood just to the mouth of Barry Morrison, who's got the lead and snaps the head back of Jarrod Fletcher at the end of the third round. The blood just from the nose and mouth there of Barry Morrison, who told me he wished he could box like Zab Judah. That is until he was beaten the other week by Costas Yu. It's the corner of Fletcher again. 95 fights. Good solid amateur, that.
Not half, considering I had 37 amateur fights in my whole career, so that's really impressive.
Boxing since he was 9, Jarrod Fletcher. He's got it all to do in the final round, though. They touch gloves for the fourth round, and Jarrod Fletcher has got to pull the score back, the Australian. Trails by 4 points now. Good left hook, upstairs and downstairs from Morrison, but Fletcher squeezed one in two. 9-5, 10-5 now.
He's paced himself so well, Morrison. He's just raising the pace now.
They know he's down in the corner. They're shouting advice to the Australian. Keeps flicking out that jab. He's got to work very, very hard.
Yeah, well, we can expect a big drive from Fletcher here, and that's what we're getting. So Morrison's going to have to grit his teeth here, start firing back.
They say Fletcher is the big name to come over, and he lost last week. He won't want another one. He's got about a minute to put it right. He's really going for it, but Morrison now tying Fletcher up and using his amateur experience. He's lost 13, Morrison. But he's 162. This could be 63. 6-point lead now for Morrison. And Fletcher needs something dramatic now, which has never looked like it's going to happen.
No, I mean, once Morrison got himself in front, he's boxed well and just kept himself there. Fletcher's put a lot of work into it, a lot of nice looking work, flashy work, but just not the clean punching that Morrison's produced.
16 years of boxing so far for Barry Morrison. Wants to stay an amateur for a good couple of years yet. And the hands raised of Jarrod Fletcher. The win goes to Scotland. And they make it 7-4. That's a bit better, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit more respectability, if you like, but that was a good bout. Both boys produced a lot of nice boxing. Enjoyed that, particularly seeing Scotland manage the win.
Yeah, it was good to watch that. And Barry Morrison must be a very delighted young man.
Ladies and gentlemen, I must say that was a first-class contest. Put your hands together for the two young boxers.
13-7 to Morrison, a big win in the end.
We have a decision, points decision of 13 points to 7. In the blue corner, Barry Morrison.
Big round of applause
The applause coming from young Jarrod Fletcher. Well done, Jarrod.
Crowd here in the Bellahouston Leisure Centre. We've witnessed a very good performance from Barry Morrison in a pretty decent fight.
Well done to him. Fantastic that they're getting the exposure in this manner. And we have two, not one, but two former Commonwealth Games medalists as amateurs here. Barry McGuigan, your opinion first.
I thought it was a much more competitive fight than the scoreline indicated, and I'm afraid that I have never agreed with the computers. And however, let me just say that I thought Barry Morrison was a very good kid. I also thought young Fletcher was a very talented boy too. They've both got great careers ahead of them. I think Morrison's style maybe suits the pro game a little bit better, but it's great to see such competitive action. It's a really impressive fight.
The Australians seem to be on the march in amateur boxing now, Spencer, is that right?
Yeah, they're doing excellent. I boxed in Australia myself in the Commonwealth Games finals.
Robbie Peden, wasn't it?
Yeah, Robbie Peden, yeah, and they're doing very well. They're doing well at everything at the moment. The Australians, they seem to be buzzing at everything they're doing. But as Barry said, it was a great contest and they've both got bright futures.
Scotland's Brian Peacock went into the ring next to try to get another point back for his country against the Australian Daniel Baff. Here's their meeting at middleweight.
Chance to watch the gold medalist from the Under-19 European Championships, Brian Peacock, here from Barhead, near Paisley in Scotland, up against Daniel Baff from Dorrigo, New South Wales in Australia. Travelled a long way and was beaten in the first meeting, Baff, by Steve Maguire. He was stopped, in fact. He's with his father, trainer Terry Baff, in the corner, and I'll be hoping to get some sort of revenge here tonight. Peacock stands very upright with that tight guard. Already a point up on the scorecard. They rate him pretty highly here, Peacock.
Yeah, first time I've seen him, Adam, but yeah, impressive, nice style. I have to say the standard all day long has been excellent. Every bout, we haven't seen a mismatch. Every bout's been really competitive.
Yes, Australia in the lead by 7 points to 4. It's the 12th and final contest at middleweight, 75 kilograms. Peacock actually a light middle, normally fights at 71. He says he's got to get down to 71 before next Friday for the final of the Western Districts. He said he won't eat very much. He's already 2 up here though.
A nice right hand from Peacock, followed it up with another.
Yeah, it's got a good jab about him. Decent right hand too. At the moment, just too much for Daniel Baff. Good opener. There is Daniel's father,
Ladies and gentlemen,
Terry.
I'd like to ask Willie Platt to come into the ring.
He's
after
18
the
years
bout
of
to
age.
present the prize.
He's won
Thank you, Willie.
53 of his 65, just lost 12 from the Dorigo Gym in New South Wales. And over in the blue corner from the Barhead Amateur Club, it's about 10 minutes away from here. 18 years of age, Brian Peacock, with James McEwen in his corner. Had a good start.
Yeah, very good start. They picked the punches nicely. Didn't score too many points on the computer, but nevertheless accurate. Doubled up with the right hand. There you go. Nice first round.
Here's the second of 4 2-minute rounds. The last bout in the Scotland-Australia International Amateur Tournament. The home fighter in all blue, Brian Peacock. And in all red, the Australian Daniel Baff. Peacock, who won that gold medal in the under-19 Europeans over in Sardinia. Won 4 in a row. Obviously some potential. 3-1 up on the card. He's outreaching the bigger man.
Yeah, Ben Baff has raised the pace here, but full credit to Peacock. He's meeting him head on.
Nose bloodied of Peacock, who now turns Baff on the ropes. The right hand in there from Daniel Baff. Will that score? Probably not, because it's the side of the head. It'll be very front on here for the computer scoring. It's Peacock who goes into a 4-1 lead. There's a lot of blood now from the nose, though, of Brian Peacock.
Another good right hand from Peacock. I don't know if the computer men have spotted it, but boxing well.
And fire back now, Baff. That right hand scored. Good competitive action here. 3-point lead now for Brian Peacock as we come to the end of the second round. Toe-to-toe at the end there. Really good stuff in the final bout at middleweight here. The bloody nose of Brian Peacock. Doesn't seem too concerned about it at all. Started boxing at 12. His friend's father took over the amateur club at Barhead, and he now works as an apprentice engineer. Runs in the morning, trains in the evening. Busy schedule.
Yep, must really love the game. Not an easy sport, we've always said, But this is a tough battle. He's doing well to keep himself so well in front, because Baff has raised the pace a couple of times, but Peacock has stayed with him and kept himself in front.
Third round, the blue head guard, shirt and trunks of Brian Peacock, the 18-year-old from Barhead in Scotland, against Australia's Daniel Baff, the 75-kilogram middleweight. And Peacock in a 4-point lead, as you can see from the official scoring down at the bottom of your screens. 5 judges ringside, and if 3 hit their buttons within a split second, the point counts. Just unsettled, Daniel Baff, hasn't he?
Yeah, I don't think he's ever been able to match the accuracy of Peacock. Peacock just, he seems that little bit more experienced, just coping with the pace a little bit better. But 6-3, still a close one.
Just the head guard loose, and there's father and son, Terry and Daniel, putting things right. He's pulled the point back, although that good burst on the ropes from Peacock, especially to the body, was not scored. Looking for the technical shots, these judges here. The right to the side of the head again from Baff, but probably won't register. Just backing away a little, Peacock, maybe starting to tire.
Yeah, well, I thought more liable that Daniel Baff will be tiring, because he's missed quite a few times with big left hooks. Obviously in the best of shape.
Sort of leader of the Australian team, Daniel Baff.
A little bit of the zip has gone out of Peacock's work in this round. He's just reacting to Baff, not really launching any attacks himself.
Does live in the mountains of New South Wales, Daniel Baff, and he was saying that he runs them doggedly every day to just have the extra stamina here. .153 of his 65, boxing since he was 14. Says he gets a lot of support from his father, Terry, who he always wants in the corner. He's got 2 brothers and 3 sisters, and even the sisters enjoy watching him fight. Boxing family, the Baffs from Australia, but he's still down here to Brian Peacock, who was described to me by the local journalist Brian Donald up here as tough, aggressive, and with plenty of heart.
Yeah, and I think I would add skillful to that as well, Adam. He's really boxed well. Dropped the pace a little bit in the previous round, so maybe just looking for a grandstand finish, we'll see.
Final round of the final contest here between Scotland and Australia. Australia hit the 7 lead quite a bit earlier on in the day, but Scotland have come back well in the last few bouts. Can Brian Peacock make it 7-5 and narrow the defeat? 6-all in their first match last week over in Fife. Again, very close, and we've witnessed some excellent boxing.
Yeah, and I get the impression that Baff deserves a little bit more for his efforts, but the last point scored again goes to Peacock. He's widened his lead, whereas Baff really has been doing most of the work for the last couple of minutes.
Baff was stopped last week by Steve McGuire in the 3rd round. Good right cross and left hook there. And he's trailing by 5 points now on the computer. Almost impossible to pull that back unless he scores the stoppage win. A good support, this amateur show here. And it's the first time up here in Scotland that an amateur and professional show have been on the same day in the same venue. And Robert Smith from the British board was telling me that the amateur and professional bodies are working much closer together now, which is really good for boxing.
Well, I'll be honest, Adam, look, we've always worked fairly closely up in Scotland. I mean, even like the 30-odd years ago when I started, amateurs and pros always worked together in gymnasiums, sparred with each other. Not quite the same down south, I must say. I think maybe catching up.
It's excellent, that. And we've seen some good, competitive, quality boxing from very, very determined young men here. It's the blood from the nose of Brian Peacock, which has been a problem for the last couple of rounds. And the referee brings them together, and there goes the bell to end the event, and a hard hit of the gloves between the two men. Plenty of respect earned over these
We also
two
have a prize
international
for the best
contests.
technical boxer of the show. Once
Brian
again, I will
Peacock
ask Mr. Dick McTaggart to come into the
wins.
ring and present the prizes. Thank you, Dick.
Makes it 7-5. The victory to Australia, which was won much, much earlier. But they did well, didn't they, the boys we've seen?
Yep, I think so. The standard's been very good. I think young Daniel Baff will maybe find himself, or think of himself a little bit hard done here because of the effort he put into that bout. But young Brian Peacock managed to hang on to his lead.
Put your hands together for the two young boxers.
8-4 there, the final scorecard. The win going to Brian Peacock. Let's get the announcement.
Decision as follows by a score of 8 points to 4 in the blue corner. Brian Peacock.
The hand raised of Brian Peacock. A victory for Scotland to close what's been an excellent tournament. And the Scottish boys will now look towards the national tournament, which happens in February and March next year, and hopefully be part of the Commonwealth Games in Manchester in the summer.
Overall result, Scotland 5, Australia 7. What about the standard on the basis of the two we've seen there?
Yeah, well, I thought both Brian Peacock and Barry Morrison and both Australians were very good. I thought the Australian standard of boxing in Australia has risen tremendously, and the amateur game is really doing tremendously well, thanks to Jeff Harding, Costa Zoo, and the likes of Jeff Fennick. It's really, really good.
Can you refine this scoring system for the sake of our viewers, do you feel? Paul, I don't agree with the scoring system at all. That was the reason that I turned professional. I turned professional at 20 years of age, purely because my style didn't suit the computer scoring system. I mean, Daniel Baff there, you see him land 4 or 5 shots, clean shots in the first round, and he ended up the first round with no scoring at all.
Spencer, is that making better boxers in the long run or not?
I think no. I think that it's not making better boxers at all. Maybe better technically, but it's, when they're not adjusted. It's too much of a transition to go from amateur to pro. So it's really dividing the game.
Finally, Barry, it was an experiment, a mixed bill like that tonight, amateurs alongside professionals. Are you in favour of that going forward?
I think it's a great step forward. I think if the amateurs and the pros can work together in any form, it's got to be good. I'm not so sure that it's good to compare them with the pros, because I don't think at the moment it is as good a spectacle. However, it's good to see them working together. I hope England take heed.